Okay, we're back for episode 2 of the Cutter Files. Thanks again for watching episode 1. We've learned a lot and some great feedback. Look forward to putting some gold out there out again. We've got Jack again who's back, and Sean from Clenergy. So great to have them on board to discuss all things solar social media, as we sort of did last time, with obviously a particular focus on the framing. Jack and Sean want to say hello.
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 Glad to be here again.
Thanks for having me back. I'm pretty excited about that, actually. Normally people don't invite me back, so, you know.
That's great. And it was great to see you've installed the blinds down at your place there as well. So,
and those office chairs behind you, it's getting
good. It is quite glary today, actually, in Melbourne, sunny Melbourne.
You're on the hull of a ship, so.
Should we just talk about the weather for a while?
Is it going to be thunderstorms later today anyway?
We could talk about COVID or the weather.
I think COVID would dominate. Yeah, hopefully we can all get out in a couple of weeks and have social interactions, and even the solar guys can start installing again, obviously.
So the date today, just for the viewers, is the 8th of October.
Yes.
So what is happening?
When you watch this, we'll still be in lockdown.
Probably.
Even if it comes out,
we're still going to be grounded by then. What is happening? Does anyone know what's happening? Are we allowed out at some point in the future, or?
Well, nothing's changed since last time. Like all the solar guys obviously can't do residential solar in Melbourne, but they're all building their pipelines, and the backlog's getting bigger and bigger, and hoping they're to come back on the 19th. But that still hasn't been confirmed. Like, I know Jack's spoken to the CC and the SEC. Like, it's still no further clarification there, is there, Jack?
No, so no further confirmation. At this stage, we're hoping to come back for a restart on the 19th of October. But it's all hinged on the day-by-day numbers and that rolling average. Because as we know, Solar in Victoria is regarded as a specialist contractor, as a solar installer, and the electrician is separately listed. So it's still a bit of a grey area there. But no, as you were saying, a lot of operators and retailers would sort of be well banked up now, and I know a lot of companies have virtually no chance of catching up sort of before Christmas lockdown.
Well, that's the thing, when the STS, the multiplier drops at the end of the year. People
so that's
times when
it's a big problem no one's really talking about, and the fact that that the STCs are sort of written into legislation, it sort of be hard to get some sort of exemption or extension period on those. So obviously we're all quoting jobs now based on 2021 installs. And it's going to be quite hard to get all the jobs in sort of before Christmas. And I imagine a lot of people will be working up till New Year's. So it's not ideal, but it is the solar coaster. So, or the solar slide now, people refer to it as.
I looked it
Victoria.
Up. As of yesterday, we were down to 9.9 new cases per day, I think. The average it was.
The average, yeah.
The 14-day average, 9.9
for
Melbourne. 0.3 for regional Victoria. What about commercial? I noticed there's been a lot more advertisements going around now with the new government stimulus announcement, where you can claim back 100% of the commercial solar PV install on this year's
asset write-off.
Yeah.
Well, I think that whole sector's just come to a grinding halt. Like, most of the big commercial EPCs that I've spoken to, or at least know, like they've struggled to sign any major contracts the last 6 months. Like, there's just a huge uncertainty out there. So it's challenging for everyone. But in terms of Melbourne Metropolitan now, I think commercial has got a few more eases of restrictions. Yeah, Jack, that's right. You can do more commercial now.
Yeah, you can do more commercial if you can deem that that section of the property is unoccupied. So it's a little bit easier to do commercial works But just on the Victoria saga, just to make it worse for commercial, I have heard some horror stories from contractors in Victoria, commercial contractors, who've had the rug pulled out from them where they refused to go back and do the install due to the current climate and what the conditions were at the time. Not now. This is like a month ago or so. And the customers just got someone else to do the install.
Finish it off, you're saying? Or
Yeah, finish it off, or go to site and start if all the gear was there. And obviously they already sort of promised a contract, to someone, and they gave it to someone else just to get the job in, which I think is pretty appalling. And then the other side of the coin is a lot of commercial clients aren't going ahead now at all.
Always pushing things out at least, yeah.
Or a lot of projects have started and now halted. And a lot of progress payments have halted as well. So a lot of contractors are sort of stuck without money coming in as well. And then they couldn't do resi anyway. So
challenging
really
times, yeah. But anyways, back to sort of this month's solar social media review. There's a couple of new entrants to the top contributors, I guess, across both the major pages. The Solar Cutters working together, AU, AU and AUS and NZ, and the Crap Solar page. So the top contributor for the Solar Cutters working together is Lily. I'm not going to say her surname because I got it wrong last time.
I think it's Pekic.
With 189 comments over the last month, which is some pretty good going there. Really getting involved, which is sort of great to see the whole philosophy of the cutters collaborating and supporting each other and sharing knowledge. It's really coming to fruition now, especially with a lot of the guys here in Melbourne, sitting home or sitting in their offices, not doing much. The information flow is still relatively positive. On Crap Solar, the biggest contributor there was Terry Bong. Now, I'm not sure who you are, Terry, if you're watching this or not, but we thank you for the contributions. And it's great to sort of get that sort of commitment across the social media platforms.
It's a great surname too. Just quietly.
Assuming that's his surname as well. Like obviously a lot of people use alias across social media.
No, you're not allowed to do that, are you?
I've heard, there's a few sort of famous ones out there.
Alan Kemp is a famous alias.
Really? That's not Alan's real name? No,
his real name's Daniel Jarrett.
Serious?
Yeah.
Credit card information 3529. Yeah.
I'm sure we're allowed to say it, but yeah, whatever. His name's Daniel Jarrett.
Okay. Daniel Jarrett.
Yeah, he just got a new job as well, like on the side.
He works at Amex.
Yeah. American Express.
Yeah, I saw that. That's good.
Yeah.
We should get him on here one time.
I know, definitely. Yeah. I think he's busy with the Solar Outsiders podcast though. So
he's doing one install a week, so he's got plenty of time to do credit card sales.
That's a hard gig. I did that gig for a while. It's
door to door?
Credit card sales?
Not door to door, no, it was over the phone. But
from the commune.
No, that wasn't
with a landline and the phone with a long cord wrapped around you, like that sort of style.
What, are we going back in time now or something? Like what's going on?
You're a bit of an ambiguous age there, Sean.
Early 40s.
No, it was in a call center, so just the normal stuff. Anyway,
can't imagine you in a call center.
Longy worked in a call center.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
It toughened you up.
AGL too.
Yeah, I got in trouble a lot because I didn't want to take phone calls because I hated talking to people. So it didn't make sense. So then,
a small part of the job.
So every time I was on the phone, I was on the call queue to take inbound calls. This is before I was passionate about solar. I would take myself out of the phone system and log back in. So I'd always be at the back of the queue. And then I got dragged into a meeting and just got reamed.
Yeah.
And then I complained that I didn't know how to use the phone system. And that's why.
Blame
you got away with that, did you?
Yeah, look at me now, I guess. So.
I used to read and I got in trouble for reading between calls. Like I'd be reading a book and they said, "Oh," tap me on the shoulder and said, "Look."
What type of novels?
That just. I was reading about solar, actually, all about
So
solar.
reading
Okay.
the MX or something.
Oh, the MX. Oh, I'm sure
I once worked with someone who was basically running another business while he was working there, and he had like his laptop on the table, just running an online business. And then I once knew someone else who was working there as well, and he once tried to start a new business while working there using like credentials of the people from Energy Matters, like putting their names down, and obviously he got walked out the building the next day. But
Was there someone at Energy Matters that was doing that when we were there?
Yeah, in the call
Yeah.
center, they tried to start up a new business using the credentials of like the owners and try to get credit. I'm like, what are you doing, man? How's that going to work? Yeah, but you find a lot of interesting characters in those outbound, inbound call center.
What hood are you wearing, Jack? Is that the one? Is that the one from
Twist.
Salt Lake City?
Yeah, this is when we went to Salt Lake City to SPI, Solar Power International. We went out in Salt Lake City.
Was going
the
off,
climate
wasn't
there,
it?
it's like it's boiling during the day, but as soon as the sun goes down, it's freezing. Obviously, because you're sort of within the mountains. So we went to a pub or a bar, I guess.
Was it busy?
No, it was dead empty. Obviously, like a Salt Lake City. Come on. And then I just bought this jumper at the pub because I was freezing.
As a memorable trip that went to Salt Lake City.
Yeah, I got a lot of sleep in.
It was good. We watched a bit of Simpsons on the TV in the hotel room, in the double bed, then the two single beds in the apartment. So that was nice.
Barely saw sunlight.
So the pub was called Twist.
Yeah, Twist. Yeah.
Okay.
Bar, bistro, social.
Cool.
It wasn't much social. Yeah, we're like there was 5 of us or something, and probably like another 2 people in the whole venue.
Yeah,
right.
And had to use our passports to get in.
Do you think they'll do another one at what's it called? Is it
SPI?
It rotates each
Yeah.
year. So this is great.
Year.
So I begged to go for like 5 years, and every year was in Vegas. Everyone had the time of their lives. And then I finally got the invite from Adrian at Feronius to go. I was so excited. Then I was in Salt Lake City.
Well, yeah, we're already trying to plan next year's one because we obviously missed this year. It was supposed to be in Anaheim. Next year it's New Orleans. So that seems like a barrel of laughs for some solar people, I reckon.
Sounds like a bit of an upgrade from
Salt Lake City. I think I think the Tullamarine Airport's an upgrade from Salt Lake City. Well,
that's true. We had a better time in the Qantas lounge coming home. I had the greatest time of my life coming home from that trip.
Oh, the lounge! The lounge in LA, like you and me, were in the business lounge. Oh, it's fancy.
Went and bought my partner something. Ate heaps of red wine. It was all free. Had a shower. And I just forgot the whole trip.
Blocked it out of our memories. Yeah.
No, it was a good trip. So thank you to Fronius America. Fronius America for taking me, not Fronius Australia.
Who give you other benefits, I guess, obviously, too.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to jump into the solar social media posts. The first one we want to sort of discuss is from Levi Lawrence, who gave us a cracking one last week to chat about. The post was on solar cutters working together. I'll just read it out here. I love Clenergy gear, but have had this dilemma for a while now. How is everyone moving universals once they've been set? So obviously referring to the universal mids and ends. Is that a common issue that's come up there from Sean, from your side of things, as well as Jack the retailer? How have you found that?
I think I'm just looking at this image. So is this like, I think I remember reading through this one, and I'm pretty sure that the issue was that they'd installed this already as a mid clamp, and then they were basically trying to like take a panel up or something, right? So they undid it and then trying to remove the clamp from the rail. Is that what you got from this, Costa? Have you read this? The comments on this one yet, Costa, or you just looked at the
have, but like it wasn't.
I've read the comments.
I wouldn't say it's fresh.
A lot of mixed thoughts there.
Yeah, I feel like the main thing that they would. I mean, you can see there that it looks like the earth clamp is twisted around, basically.
I think he was looking for an easier way to get them out once they've
Yeah.
been set, because usually they just slide in while they slide across the rail into position.
Yeah, no, look, just a bit of just some pliers and some brute force really is a way to get those things out.
Credit to Lee Naylor there, who also said pliers.
Yeah, you
To
can
the
do a lot
rails,
with
so.
pliers, you know.
If
and
it was
some-
if it was a fixed mid, would it have been a lot easier? Or
Yeah, it would. When you tighten up those universal clamps, obviously the bolt drops down inside the extrusion, which is the part that grabs onto the rail and pushes that out. And I guess after time, it creates like a pretty firm hold. So, but I have to confess, I haven't been up on a roof and tried to uninstall one of these things. But we've had a lot of comments back from the guys who have, and yeah, it just takes a little bit of force sometimes, I think.
because not everyone's completely into the universal clamp. Some of them still prefer to use the fixed clamps. Like, is it pretty much installer preference you're finding, or is there reasons why someone might use a universal in one situation and fixed for another? Or
Well, the first thing you have to address is people just want to do what they've already been doing, right? I mean, that's generally the case. So you can, when you release new products like the universal clamp, for example, the uptake was relatively slow in the beginning, but it's now one of I think it's our 8th or 9th best selling item out of all the items that we sell.
yeah, okay.
So it's, it takes a bit of time. The benefits of it are really that, we've tried to basically make it so you don't need to go out and get every different type of clamp or have multiple different size clamps in your car, or get stuck on a job and you need to go back to a wholesaler to pick up a couple of end clamps or something. And even more so important is now that, with the panels, the panel thickness reducing, I think Jinko went down to 30 mil recently, and off the back of that, there's been a huge drive now to get stock of like the 30 mil end clamps or 28 mil end clamps, or so we've had a lot of customers or wholesalers come to us for those, and so with this product you don't need to worry about that, which is really the benefit of it.
Jack, do you guys use as a retailer universals, or are you still using fixed clamps for your jobs?
We still use the fixed. You still use the fixed clamp. As Sean was saying, once installers get used to using one product, it's sort of, hard to move away. And obviously our installers, when they rock up to the warehouse, all the pallets are sort of pre-packed, ready to go. So sort of whatever the warehouse sort of puts in the boxes.
Yeah.
But there's a comment here, Sean, that we might want to add to the Sprint, maybe. Only gripe is that the edges should be cut away, is not to shade the panel at all. So it sounds like the top hangs over a little bit onto the actual module. And the legend that is Matt Hines, he agreed and said the top could do a bit of a redesign to make it the perfect mid clamp. So you've already got a fan here. He's just after a bit of a redesign.
Well, have you seen what Heinze posted, the image?
Yeah, he's also done one. He's also made one himself. So.
Yeah. This is already actually, I was speaking to Ivan the other day, and we were going through this post, and he actually did put this on the list of things that we're going to raise at the upcoming stakeholders meetings. So who knows? This could be a new product before long, Heinze.
Well, don't release a whole new SKU or anything. Just just amend the one that you've already. Because then you have this knock-on effect with the wholesalers, as we talked about.
Yeah, but then okay. So well, look, we can do that, but you amend the universal clamp, and then it's no longer universal as far as a mid and an end clamp goes. It's just a mid clamp now, right?
It's easy from our perspective, obviously, as well as the wholesaler. Like, you don't want to be carrying a million SKUs, especially with framing, like with so many.
Is he saying just to use that universal as a mid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's just put the normal mid clamp head on top.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, got that.
But hey,
it's not really universal.
That's another issue. So how many different items do you release? Ultimately, I don't have the answer to that question. That's why we really put it back on the Clenergy stakeholders now and just ask them to basically vote. So I can blame Longy now. Longy's a stakeholder. Any problems moving forward, it's because Longy has or has not voted on something. So
they forgot to mention something. And now they've thrown you under the bus with the 4.4 rail in the same post. Jeez.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Rough day in the office.
What was the
non-anodized 4.4 rail can be a pain.
Okay, yeah, because obviously the anodization can allow the clamp to. I mean, but that's a different thing, really. As far as the clamp sliding into place, yeah, that will make a difference with the anodization compared to a mill finish. But yeah, this particular post I think was more about how do you get these things out once they've been in for a while. So,
well, I think the positive is this is the showcasing the fact that Clenergy do actively look at this page, the page in question, the solid cutters working together, and you do actively take mostly negative feedback. But then you release, an amendment to the product turns into a bit of a positive. I don't see many other companies, being so proactive with their approach, for product development.
The negative feedback, that's the gold. That's
we don't want positive feedback, I guess. You don't toot your own horn too much, but
no, that's right. It's just embarrassing whenever you get a compliment these days.
Oh, here you go.
I don't get compliments.
This is one of the main reasons I don't use Clenergy. Good comment. No likes there. I love these clamps. Great.
That's good. So there's a mix there.
It's a mixed bag of hate and positivity, and then there's a Nick Cage GIF, I think, whatever you call them. Like that one. And then Ivan here has posted the supply partners video. Screenshot of the video. So you're getting a bit of everything here. So
Ivan Ross Gomez, that's the man from Clenergy.
Yeah.
I'm telling the viewers just so they know who Ivan is.
The unsung hero.
So is Clenergy going to make a formal response to Levi Lawrence here? Or not?
I mean, I feel like the response has been kind of delivered really we can as a supplier we can say, oh, this is what we suggest you do, and I can add it to the installation guide. That's not a problem. But the best feedback is the guys on the ground every day using these things, and that's the beauty of this platform, right?
Yeah.
And we're just bringing those issues to light, which is the purpose of us doing these videos.
And we do. I mean, if it's something that we think needs to be added to an install guide, like you've got to make a decision once again. It's like adding a new product to the product range, adding something, a clarification on an install guide. And the next thing you know, the install guide is, 100,000 pages, not 100,000, but let's say 100 pages long.
May as well be.
And no one wants to read it anymore. So, and then next thing you know, they're complaining that the install guide's too long. So,
but no one reads the effing manual anyway. So
don't they? I thought it was a good read.
Is that what you're reading in your other job?
Maybe we need to turn it into like a comic book or something, so it's a little bit more
a graphic novel.
A graphic novel. Eh?
That's actually not a bad idea. I'll raise that on the sprint. I'll derail the entire sprint. And we'll just,
I don't have a vote, but if I did,
shift all the resources over to this graphic novel, and we'll make your old man Mario really proud.
I'm gonna have to hire a comic artist now on staff just to redo all the install guides.
I reckon that's great. No one reads the manual; they're draining. But most people ask me for stuff that's in the manual, and I don't read it. I just ask, you or Ivan, and they just send me the extract from the manual. No one likes being sent the manual. People like getting the extract. That's why in manuals, I usually go Control F, and I keyword it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's always strangely just missing that right nugget of information too. So I end up asking someone like you anyway. That's what really annoys me.
Yeah.
But I raise that in the sprint.
Brings you closer together.
Yeah,
it's always something missing from the manual.
I'm actually in a lot of support for that idea. I like it.
Graphic novel, okay. Right?
The marketing team is going to hate that comment, by the way. But,
sounds good. That's a good wrap up of that one there.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, we've got one from, let's have a look. from Rob Walker on solar cutters working together. Any recommendations for a mounting system for this on this type of roof? So good few thousand.
That's a dechromastic.
Tin tile dechromastic.
How could you even walk on? I don't know if I've ever walked on one of those.
You end up, from what I've been told by licensed electricians and installers, you end up denting the shit out of the tin tile, because they're big long sheets that sort of all go together on the battens, and you end up so denting the shit out of all the sheets, and the customer obviously won't be happy. And the issue we've had is working for a larger retailer. A lot of the mounting products available at the time weren't certified for that specific type of roof. You can even see in the photo of the tile there that it's already got a dent.
Yeah.
On it. So imagine laying 20 panels on it, with 2 or 3 installers. And so obviously you're already nervous if you're using, say, Sunlock or Clenergy, where like a regular L-foot and a roof screw is not actually certified for that type of roof. I guess I have heard of people doing it with hanger bolts.
Yeah, you can use hanger bolts
with great success, but it's not widely known. And sort of the most of the comments that get posted on these type of roofs are "run for the hills."
Yeah.
Or hanger bolts. So it's hanger bolts or run for the hills.
But how common are roof profiles like that though?
Not as common as asphalt shingle. It's probably as common as old slate. You mainly see it in Victoria.
I don't think they use it a lot. I mean, I could be wrong, but from what I've heard, they don't use it a lot on new builds in Australia anymore. But what I'm hearing is in New Zealand, this stuff is everywhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've spoken to a few of the guys. Dave Petrie over there. Shout out to Dave. He mentioned
crap solar.
Yeah, it's pretty prevalent over there. But yeah, I think our solution really is just hanger bolts. So you go in, you drill a pilot hole through the roof, and then another pilot hole into the rafter, and then you screw the hanger bolt in, seal it up with a bit of Sikaflex, and attach the tin foot to the top.
But then you also have the added issue of larger retailers not willing to warrant the installation.
Yeah.
If there was any water ingress or there was, excess damage to the roof from all the dents. I know a lot of installers do them. A lot of smaller operators they do them, but they do have like a waiver in place
so
for the
they'll
customers.
Make the customer sign the waiver.
Yeah, well, at Energy Matters, all those types of roofs, we wouldn't do them, but then I would pass it to like the contractor we were using at the time, who would do them himself. That way,
would it matter if you had your own employed, full-time employed installation team versus subcontractor?
Well, either way, the retailer is sort of warranting the installation. Well, the subcontractor has the workmanship warranty.
But ultimately falls to the retailer anyway.
Well, ultimately, it does fall onto the retailer, who goes back to the contractor. Because obviously the retailers at the time were offering a way longer workmanship warranty period than what the contractor was even giving the retailer. So funny comment here from Shane Kennedy, who's changed his name, I think. The only thing you should mount is the curb doing a burnout, gassing away from the place. So burnout down the driveway is a common one I use. And how fast do you run, mate? And run for the hills.
And then Kyle Evans has put a gif of Forrest Gump running out of his driveway.
That was before my time. I didn't get the reference, but that's an
Forrest
accurate.
Gump was before your time, Longy.
I think so. I didn't watch it till it was way out.
Okay.
Yeah, it was before we were born, I think.
But I reckon if you put a poll up on cutters working together about, tin tile dechromastic, I reckon you'd get a split room.
Whether you walk away or not, you're saying? Or
yeah, for Australia anyway. Because obviously people have these, different types of solutions which are tried and tested, and they've probably done hundreds of them without a leak, and it's been fine. Then you've got heaps of other people who just don't want to touch them.
Lachlan Hick put down Clenergy Solar Terrace, so he's suggesting just to put down a ground mount system instead.
Yeah. Because obviously you mount through and you go straight into the batten with the hanger bolt, Sean. And then you just mount.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. And then you mount the tin feet to that on top of that.
With like a lock nut or something.
There's like a rubber, and so you screw it in, and then you push the rubber down basically to the roof, and then there's a couple of nuts on them. So the first nut you wind all the way down to the rubber and tighten it up a few times to give it some pressure against the roof, and then you seal it at the same time, and then you drop the tin foot on, and then there's another nut that goes down and holds the tin foot onto there. So
because there's a photo there of someone who's done it with what looks like IQ micros, and they
I saw that one. I think is that radio?
Is that no.
It looks like one of our. No, it's not our.
Maybe it's Radiant.
It looks similar to one of our hanger bolts, but it's not our rail, so I'm not sure.
So, basic summary is, if the customer's not going to re-roof the entire roof, and the customer's happy with you to walk on it and have the expectation there will be dints with a waiver in place, if you take a bit of extra time and care and use an approved method of installation, such as hanger bolts with, say, Clenergy or someone like Radiant, then it can be done.
There is solutions there for people wanting to look hard enough, I guess, or work hard enough.
Okay, and there is a video there as well from Kane. Okay. And I guess that example is a bit easier because he's actually got a tin roof there and you can work off that easier. It doesn't have to. Okay.
What was the video from Kane showing?
Kane Donnelly posted a close up of the sheet with the hanger bolt and the racking, the micro under the Forrest Gump running down the road.
Oh, okay. So that's the top roof, the orange roof that he's.
And then just a normal Corrie roof with the foxtails there. Or ground mount in the yard is another solution.
Yep. There's not enough of that, I don't think.
You don't see a lot of ground mount resi in people's backyards, especially like suburban.
You got to go to the old Italian and Greek areas for that sort of stuff, I reckon, these days.
And Bryn Folletta crowbars in with my first home I had those tiles. He spelt bought wrong. I put 2.2 kilowatts on it, 2011. I don't know why that matters.
Who's this? Brian? What's his name?
Bryn Folletta, Brian.
Brian, yeah.
The bloke who stacked it on the skateboard. If it's too hard for you, just hand it to a gainer. I assume that's a solar gainer.
Solar gainer, yep.
And for everyone watching at home, we'll have the video here of Bryn on his skateboard, just really showing everybody else how it's done. So we'll make sure it plays a couple of times because it's...
It really
it encapsulates everything about
it. It really encapsulates who Bryn is. We'll have his comment up with all the spelling mistakes and unnecessary comments with the stacking video.
Maiden voyage for Bryn. It's been telling me how good he is.
He'll lose complete credibility, but he got 2 laughs out of it though.
He's gained credibility. At least he tried to drop in. I mean, I haven't seen you guys do this.
Gainer.
Oh, he's a gainer. See, yeah, that's it.
Okay, great. We'll move on. Crap Solar now. We've got the first post from Crap Solar from Sona Sagu or Sago. I'm not good with the names.
Sonu Sagu.
Sonu Sagu. How do you say it, Sean?
Yeah, he's a rising star.
Rising star, whatever that means. Is there anyone facing dodgy solar panel installer company in this group? Unfortunately, I had a really bad experience with one of the dodgy companies. Just checking if someone faced anything like that and needs suggestions, please, what would be best to do to deal with them as they have damaged my roof and whirlybirds as well. Just taking suggestions to take appreciate steps so don't continue dodgy work to loved homes. A little bit round in circles there, but sort of we get the messaging there from Sonu.
When I first saw
I-
this one, it looked like someone had just out of spite jumped on this guy's roof and like just gone to town at this on his system with a crowbar or something. Like it's. Have you seen the rail? That like if you bring up the image of the rails,
Yeah.
it's like you know what I think has happened? There's an image of a screw here, right, on a tin foot. If you jump forward a little bit, it looks like the screw has basically ripped out of the
it's like
the
it's
purlin.
actually been bent and snapped.
Yeah, but see, if you look at the screw, it looks like the same screw as the one next to it, which is the roofing screw, right?
Yeah.
And so what they've probably done is just reuse the roofing screws, which is a big no-no. You need to use a larger gauge screw to install the feet, obviously, because you're not going to get this anywhere near the same hold. And probably, I'm only guessing, but I'm guessing that they've done that. And then one of them's come loose, or a few of them have come loose in a storm. And then it's just started shaking about, and then it's just flipped over onto the other side and smashed all the other panels. And in the interim, it looks like I would love to know how that rail, that the edge of the top of that rail got like bent out like that. That's crazy.
I was the one who actually approved the post on Crap Solar. I didn't think it was real.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out when I approved it, he actually already had it posted on Crap Solar, so I removed it. And comments have been
well, there was the 136 comments now.
Comments,
just looking at,
but then Storky's closed the comments down. But surely you'll be asking for it if you post this on Crap Solar. Like, you'd be brave.
20,000 people globally looked at that post.
But I'm just a little confused because you didn't actually name, if you're this pissed off, with the retailer or company putting it in, and then to not name who they are. I understand people don't want to, call them out, but if you go into the trouble of having this awful experience, and then obviously you're just fuming, and like he didn't message any of the admins at all about who they were or anything.
Do you think he was worried if he named the name that the post would be taken down, or like, is there anything in the rules on that page about that, or?
No, I deal with this a lot.
On the Cutters page, it is, I think.
So on Crap Solar, normally when these posts go up, obviously this is quite severe, but they don't usually name anyone. And you're sort of under the impression that they're not naming them, but they will eventually if it doesn't get resolved. And that's when me as an admin, I get hit with all these personal messages, maybe from that customer looking for me to reach out to the installer, or is actually the installer or the retailer reaching out to me to say, can you please remove the post? We'll get it fixed up right away. But in this case, that hasn't.
That's the thing. A lot of these posts, when they go up there, or the person knows it's their work or it's their company getting named, they'd usually reach out to Jack and the admins sort of to say, well, yeah, this is our work. Can you give us a chance to rectify it and hopefully sort the issues out? But yeah, nothing came of this. And like I said, a lot of people sort of looked at it, and you'd like to think someone might have known where it might have originated from. I was looking at Sonu's profile, and like he's based in Sydney, so it's obviously someone local to this country. I was thinking maybe it's something overseas, but looks like it's something local.
The whirlybird's taken a real hit. It's like the whirlybird, the fins are like crippled in. I think obviously something's happened here, and obviously as an admin, there's always just some experience. There's obviously two extreme sides to a story. And you just never know what's actually transpired here. I
mean, Sonu has left a clue in that photo of the screw, obviously on the bottom of that tin foot. Like that to me is that looks like the culprit to me, personally.
Oh yeah, the one just showing like the tilt bracket and the screw coming out. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, the tilt leg. Yeah.
But But yeah, like probably a hall of fame for crap solar. Like it's pretty sort of intense, pretty eye-opening, and great selling point for solar.
Yeah, and obviously they've they got the upgrade to the split cells, big 6.6 split cell special. I'll be a bit bigger than that, obviously.
Yeah, those junction boxes in the middle. Yeah,
but they got the Wi-Fi going as well, probably.
Crazy.
No photos of the inverter, but
yeah, I was curious about it. Curious with that as well. I wonder.
I assume that's a dumpster fire as well.
Can you tell? You reckon? Like, can you tell like how long it would have been installed for? Like,
it looks like a new house.
Looks like
that's
it's
the thing.
recent.
It looks like it's. Yeah.
And then obviously, like the price, they're all moving towards split cell now, so it would have been installed in the last, I don't know, 18 months. It looks like a fairly new install, like trim deck. Like if I really wanted to, I could PM him and find out more information, but who has the time these days?
We've got till the end of the episode if you really want to do some.
We'll get Sonu on the air.
Call him.
I'll message. True.
I'll message him.
Go on.
Message him, and we'll come back to this post then after that. And if there's an extension after this, Jack obviously got through, but if there's nothing, we try. It's all we could do.
It's like this is your life for that solar system, really. Just bring in the owner, bring in the installer.
We'll bring him straight into the stream after I send him this private message.
Let's move on to the other post, and while Jack waits for a reply.
Okay.
The next one's a video from Frankfurt Hernandez. Look at this poo, he says. This one was also on crap solar.
This looks like an ultravolt job. Look at that. Oh shit. Look at this.
Thought it'd be good.
This is unbelievable. Like, is it just me, or does it look like they haven't even attached the isolators to the rails?
It does. It's not secure at all. So, like, what's the logic behind it? I don't get it.
It's like they've made it look like it was secured, but then.
So for someone to sign it off, it looks great, but you're just lifting it up and it's coming off. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Do the auditors normally get up on the roof?
That could be my question. Like,
in Vic, yes, they are meant to.
Okay.
So obviously, like, he's got the blue meanie there, so the blue calling card there, which is usually an indication that it's a crap install.
Is people just lazy, or like why? Like,
well, the customers probably paid $2,000 for that system. So if it was Vic, it probably would have got ordered if it went through the Solar Vic program, but I'm not sure. But just not even affixing the isolator mounting bracket to the rail is outstanding in itself.
It's scary to think about.
Yeah, it's like it's just sitting there.
Yeah,
just wedged in place.
How long till that becomes the next Sonu post? Like, geez.
And obviously, you got to work out. This is what I think about when I deal with a lot of this stuff. Is why is that like that solar cutter / installer there in the first place? Why are they on the roof? Has the customer heard a rattle on the roof, or they've had an independent audit done to say get it rectified or looked at, or they just weren't happy at all? This is what usually happens with those bill buster Wi-Fi power specials, unfortunately. But yeah, that's, exactly what it is. It's a blue calling card. That's shocking. 84 comments.
What? Yeah, 84 comments.
That's funny, isn't it? That just the one thing about peeling the sticker off the isolator shroud.
World famous.
It's too much.
They didn't allow for that costing I don't get. I see more of those the stickers than not. Like, usually, like on crap solar, obviously that's where they're highlighted.
No deck tight either, Sean. He's just gone straight under the. the tile. But the mounting bracket isn't even. Is the mounting bracket even attached? Oh no, it's attached to the isolator. Okay, but it's just not attached to the. And you got the Corrie with that. Do your best, silicon the rest type attitude on the gland. Yeah, that's rubbish.
Well, that's why it's on Crap Solar.
Yeah, customer would be stoked with that.
Maybe the fabric color's blue, and you want to leave a sticker on. So nice looking it down from the street view. You can see some nice blue on his roof when Santa comes. No, nothing. Fine.
No, nothing. Yeah.
I had that one prepared, but anyway, let's move on. Levi Lawrence again went bang, and he chucked in another post on Crap Solar. Just doing a re-roof and found this bad boy. Ingenuous, or you can read the word. What do we think there?
Is that
just while we're here? Just to
genre?
clarify, is there swearing on this show, or?
Well, Jack already dropped a few. Like, we sort of try to keep it PG-ish. Like, we're not.
I probably wouldn't say the F word, but you could say, or the C word. You could say, like, shit and stuff.
Okay, because I think even if you say shit, I think now that you have to have a warning at the start for 18 or over or something on YouTube now, so you may as well just go all out. Really,
because you can select it made for kids, which I have in the first episode. Obviously, episode 2 is not made for kids. We'll have to.
Is this going to turn up on my my kids' YouTube for kids? Is that?
Well, we're just trying to reach a bigger market. It's just getting a message out there. But yeah, I'll make sure episode 2 is not made for kids.
Well, it's book week next week, so maybe we should dress up for the next episode for the kids then.
Because you're the novelist, like you're the one reading all the books in your previous job.
True.
Any favorites there?
I wasn't into fiction. I was more into like self-help books and stuff like that, the boring stuff.
Anyways, that's
the rail joiner.
Yeah, that's the joiner. I think that's a Titan. I think that's Titan from looking at it. Yeah, obviously they've realized that the joiner needed to be there at the same time as the tile interface. Just
how long do you reckon that will last?
Nah,
it's just a bit baffling how when you work out where your rail is going, where the end of the rail is. Yeah.
I mean, there's two key failure points, really. I mean, the point of, attachment to the tile foot, but that's not even attached. But then you got the joint of the rails too. So, that thing's going to be, I'd love to see an updated photo in a year's time.
So like I said before, the inspectors and stuff, Jack, how it's mandatory for Solar Vic. Like most of the other states are probably going to move that way as well. So meaning a lot more of this stuff shouldn't be coming to light. Yeah.
Yeah, I just really hope that the auditors or the inspectors, are looking under the hood as well. Obviously, in Vic they look for cable management, make sure there's no stray cables hitting the roof. And whatnot, I'd really hope they'd see that. I'm hoping that's not, the only one on that row.
That's not the only one, or the only one.
Well, I hope it's the only one for the sake of the system, but for the sake of an audit, I hope there's other ones. It'd be good to see if there was more of this ingenious on the rest of the array.
So if Levi gets up on the roof, right? Or just anyone generally, if they're going back to someone else's dodgy install to fix up something or expand on the system or whatever it might be, do they generally report this sort of stuff?
Well, to who?
Crap Solar is like the reporting, I guess.
Crap.
Well, that is the question. Is there someone you can report this to?
Generally,
it'll follow it up and say, okay, who did the original install? Let's go back to them and chase this up, or not really?
Yeah, there's channels to do it. It's quite rare you'd get, like a full,
Well,
full
if it
frontal response.
but if it's for example it's an ASR from the CEC.
Oh, well, ASR is it's really geared towards the end user.
Mhm.
So there's a clear passage of complaint for the end user and people like me who complain a lot about dodgy companies. And normally I do get a response. So as customers would have a good avenue there, in my experience. If you're an installer, I know me and a few other solar cutters have lodged a lot of complaints to ESV and CSE. So we simply just drop them in the same email to ESV if it's in Victoria. That's Energy Safe Victoria, and the Clean Energy Council as well. And just hope something gets done about it. But it's just a bit unfortunate that a lot of this stuff, obviously, it's a bit of a piss take. But nothing will genuinely happen with it. Unless it's a full, rip it off the roof and reinstall. The customer wants the whole thing replaced. But a lot of this stuff, nothing happens, or they try the best they can to rectify it on the day, but they can't fix the whole install.
Well, now ESV and CC, they don't have to go and scour through all the posts on the Facebook group. They can just watch the cutter files.
Yeah. Well, if you're watching, this is a great example.
Yeah.
Of why there should be mandatory inspections. Not just nitpicking on, your labels, 1 degree out on your inverter are going to fail you. If you look under the roof, look at the cable management, you can see all this stuff under. So I just hope that if we did do mandatory inspections in each state, which I'm sort of supporter of, that they would, do a thorough inspection, not just a tick and flick or ping you for a label.
Also, I just hope that if anyone from either of those organisations is watching this episode of Cutter Files, remember to like and subscribe. That's very important.
Thanks, Sean.
And message Levi Lawrence to...
But it's obviously stuff solar cutters and a lot of us in the industry, us three especially, are passionate about. And if it means us assisting in collating some of these images and installations and sending them to these bodies, if things are actually going to get done and rectified, that's all we all want at the end of the day.
Yeah. So just on this post specifically, so he was doing a re-roof. So really it's probably been there for a while. And the only reason he's uncovered it because he's ripping up the array. So on the positive side, the system's probably been replaced and installed to the applicable Australian standards. But yeah, that's a funny one. I've never seen that before.
Re-roof, that term, what that means, they're just ripping off the old panels and putting on new ones, or?
Well, I'm assuming he's an electrician. So re-roof would be that maybe the customer's getting the roof replaced, or the ridge capping realigned, or getting an extension. So the roof has to come off. So
okay.
So the customer, I think, is called electrician to, remove the roof and put it, the system, and then put it back on after they've done the re-roofing.
Gotcha.
So hopefully it now, it'll be installed to the correct racking standard, I guess, whatever that is.
We can only hope.
All right.
It'd be difficult to reinstall it back the way it was.
Yeah. If you did though, but that would void your engineering cert, wouldn't it, Sean? Or
that's not our gear.
No, but if it was Clenergy and you saw that.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't actually do that with Clenergy because the splice doesn't work like that, really. But you couldn't.
Oh, splice rail joiner, same thing.
Yeah, no, I don't like that either. Just use the one term.
So what's the term? Splice or joiner?
I always said joiner, but you guys say splice. So
we're Sunlock kids. We're Sunlock kids, Sean. So
are we? So splice is the one, yeah.
It was
splice is the ice cream. Why can you confuse it?
We're Sunlock kids, so SLRJ was always Sunlock rail joiner.
Okay.
Sorry.
So it's a joiner for you.
Well, for me, it's rail joiner, and for a long time, I even used to use the term base rail, not rail.
Oh yeah.
Until someone called me out on it, and then that was pretty embarrassing. All right, moving
All right,
on. Yeah.
You
great.
can laugh about it now, though. That's the main thing.
Not
Look
really.
how far he's come.
All right, what's
one-
next?
The next one's a cracker.
Mm.
It's from Matty Najim. It's about the 10 feet drilled into the temporary fence. I don't know the actual name on a flat concrete roof, and I don't know what to make of it. Not sure if it's crap or genius. How is this possible? Why is he?
Is this like a DIY ballast?
Like I don't get it. Like it's just so many sort of questions. Like
Looks like those sand or water weights that you put your temporary fencing on, or
What do you reckon's in them? Do you think they put concrete inside those things?
sand or water.
no hope.
So they just screwed into the water. Plastic.
Nothing surprises us anymore. Like,
It's true. Look, if there was concrete, like if there was hardened concrete inside of those,
which is unlikely though. Like realistically,
I reckon I could get that signed off.
It's clearly a concrete, or it's like a non-penetrative roof,
Mhm.
and they've like, was there engineering with this job? Is this actually a solution?
It's hard to say, but I'm getting ideas. I can tell you that much. Maybe this is the new Clenergy ballast system.
what's
What
the
do you
thing?
reckon?
Crap soul is not always bad. It gives you ideas to make the next product, make the next SKU, make us all on edge.
Could be a good way to
be a-
recycle the old, the old bases of those temporary fencing things that they use in festivals. And hey, there's no festivals on at the moment. There's probably a lot of these things going to go into recycling. So,
How popular is your
waste,
ballast
basically.
system? Like, like it's not. A few people have asked for it, and we've used it and they've installed it. But is it a popular product, or it just
No.
those type of solutions aren't really that popular or that?
No, they're very rare. I mean, usually they'll come up on a really expensive house
in the city or a skyscraper and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And usually, like in most cases, the building wasn't usually built for the amount of weight that they need, because a lot of these houses that have got these flat concrete roofs, they're on the water's edge because they're big houses, on the water's edge, beautiful. And by the time you do the engineering on it, it's from our end, it usually comes out that it's better just to penetrate the roof, and work with a roof plumber and get them to do the penetrations and then just come in after and install on top.
It looks like the foxtail, the dish there, is in a bin.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I didn't see that.
And I wonder
Maybe
if
there's
aircon-
concrete in the bin too.
You're giving me a lot of credit. I don't.
I bet they have. I bet they put concrete in that bin as well. I think this is a home job.
People are ranting on about how ballast roofs on non-penetrative are quite valid, but I doubt this one we're looking here has any sort of engineering, certification around it. But the ice on the cake is the foxtail dish there and the bin, and then there's a bit of strapping there as well on the panel.
Yeah,
there, which is doing nothing. Someone would have signed off on it. So,
Sorry, say it again.
I said someone would have signed off on it. No one qualified, obviously, but it's still there. So
It's a good sign, as opposed to Sonu's one.
for some reason, I thought when I first saw this that it had like a triple rail. So at least I put some sort of thought into it, but it was a different post.
it'd be a retired engineer, I think, with some spare.
They look like those temporary
festival
fencing blocks.
Yeah, I really like it. Actually, I think it's very.
Do a
It's like very
Clenergy-
MacGyver.
You could do a Clenergy pattern. Like if you're in The Walking Dead or something, and this is what you had to do to get the system on the roof, and you only had,
This could be a new series for the Cutter Files. Eh? We go out and you've only got like a paper clip and a piece of rail and some old trash in a pile. You've got to put together a solar system.
You got to power your town. I remember there's actually an episode of The Walking Dead where they're all living in this town, which is solar powered, and there's big, ridiculous ground mounts up. And then one of the micro inverters died, and they had to run into town to get this micro inverter And I was obsessed with this episode.
Did someone pay for the sponsorship on that opportunity? Was it Enphase or was it Enphase microinverter or?
I don't think it was APS, but
Okay.
APS is back now, I think.
I hope not.
Do you remember that movie with Johnny Depp where he became a computer? I think it was
Pirates of the Caribbean?
No.
Yeah.
No, it was Transcendent or something, or
Trans something, yeah. I can see it. I can picture. I think it might be on Netflix or Stan or one of those ones. I reckon I can see the picture.
Oh, Transcendence.
There was some solar companies that they built a huge solar system on these like individual like post mount type trackers or whatever it was. There was some pretty good sponsorship in there. I was actually talking to Samir, our marketing manager, the other day, because I wanted to see if I want to get into video games because I don't know. I just need.
Have you watched High Score on Netflix?
Yeah, I'm watching that.
I'm on the last episode. It's really cool, like the evolution of video games and technology and things like that. Definitely watch it.
Okay,
But
I'll check it out. But just because I was reading something the other day, apparently Call of Duty reached 100 billion play hours. Right, total play hours.
Yeah.
Like 100 billion. Right. And I was thinking I should probably check this out. So, but then I was thinking, what if we had like the solar industry,
like the Sims, like installing solar.
This isn't your virtual reality install, is it?
Nah. Yes. No. Sort of. Anyway, I'm putting it. I'm planting some seeds.
Something
Carters,
different.
I'm planting a seed. If anyone wants to get involved in this, I'm a total noob. But we should start a Call of Duty. What do you call it?
They fill out stadiums with people watching these tournaments and things like
Just
that.
for the solar industry, you know.
Yeah.
The Carters can have a team. Clenergy will have a team.
CC
should have a team.
SEC.
SEC will have a team. Solar Vic will have a team.
Solar Vic, yep. The list is endless.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's out there now, so
yeah.
I'll let that do its thing.
That's a good way to sort of finish on that topic.
Thanks.
We'll go to the next one now. Third locker proven to extend the life of PV 50 more years. So this is the netting sort of thing he's got.
Is this the like the efficiency net?
Yeah,
catches the efficiency.
Stops the 5G. It's like a Faraday cage, so it stops the 5G interrupting the solar cells from doing their thing. I think
the idea was it would be a bit more low tech than that. I think it stops like rocks being thrown or golf balls.
Well, hail damage, I guess, but
maybe it's like a golf ball, like a driving range or a baseball stadium.
It says nets you had a primary school, you threw the hacky sacks and the ball and the thing bounced back to you. Like,
I don't think it's like a trampoline, Costa. But...
Yeah, trampoline. That's like those ones. Like it's sort of a trampoline-y look.
Yeah, a little bit odd. It doesn't look like it's from this country, to be honest.
It doesn't, does it? Where's third the locker from?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Is that third locker? Is it like third the locker? Third locker?
I don't know.
Does that even mean anything? I don't think so.
Then you could end up with all these birds just perched on them, just, backing one out straight onto the, as opposed to being under the array, they'll be on top now.
I think his profile's private, but
he's got an image. It looks like he's playing some sort of ball sport. Oh, he's shooting.
Croquet?
No, he's got a gun in his hand. Yeah. He's shooting a gun at a target that's around about 2 meters away from him. Maybe it's a firing range. They're just trying to like ricochet the bullets just in case.
When Energy Matters did a commercial install in Melbourne, 400 kilowatts.
The next DC one.
Next DC, 400 kilowatts. A large portion of the array was getting, heaps of seagull droppings onto it. And it was just like the modules were just like caked, like whole strings, whole sections. So they had to pay like some like ridiculous amount of money to get like, to get them professionally cleaned, and then to put these like high set nets over the array. But obviously it wasn't like this where it's like this steel cage mesh just off the panel. It's obviously next to like some sort of, if it was here, you would obviously think it was like some sort of baseball or cricket club, or vandals. But this doesn't look like it's from Australia, so it could just be anything. Like,
And it looks like it's been there for a while as well. Like I wouldn't say it's a split cell technology that might be able to get a bit more performance out of that. It's probably some 180 watt.
If you're erecting this kind of stuff on your property, I think the last thing you're thinking about is like a drop in efficiency.
It's interesting anyway, but like it sort of was fun to highlight.
It is.
All right.
Next, we've got David Rooming. He just did an emoji of is that a peanut?
It's a peanut, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really into the peanuts. Let's get it.
You can recognize one, right?
I'm not really into nuts, Sean. Yeah.
But the one screw into the Oh, okay, I see what's going on here. So the one screw, obviously, it's already a problem into the truss.
I mean, if there was 2 screws on that, that's tickety boo. I think that would work okay.
I mean, it's creative. They got the job done, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Still standing.
Yeah.
It's pretty unprofessional, though. Like, you would want to see that if you're a customer. A lot of people use window packers, but just back to Sean saying, they just use one screw, so it's automatically not compliant with a lot of the racking companies.
Does any racking company allow that? Did you know of or no?
I don't think so.
I know Clenergy doesn't. Yeah.
I know Sunlock was 2. It's always been 2.
So it was a screw short, or he couldn't be bothered, or
I think it was a screw loose.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad, I guess. Good work, Sean. Yeah.
Thanks.
The last post we've got.
Yeah.
Nguyen Hoi. This is the Stairway to Heaven. It looks like it's Vietnamese, maybe it's Vietnam, or like from judging by the writing on the wall, like it's obviously somewhere overseas.
It's I think it's 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 Ho Chi Minh. That's Vietnam, right?
Ho Chi Minh's Vietnam, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah.
That says Van Hoa. Like it looked. Yeah.
But the last 2 or 4 panels aren't even plugged in.
How can you see that?
If you zoom in, you can see the
Sean still got
leads.
Windows 95.
I would say MC4, but who knows at this point?
But that couldn't have been left like that. It must have evolved over time. You would have think, like, surely, like.
No, it doesn't look like. I mean, look at that. Look at the raft, like up the top of the rafters. Like that's all one piece, really. So I think they've built it like that. What worries me is the overhang. Like
slightly, yeah.
Yeah, it's just slightly. It's a bit of a diving board.
There's more paddles overhanging than over there on the roof. Like.
If the solar, yeah.
I don't know how windy it is. Like in some parts of Asia, it's not that windy. So maybe it was signed off by a.
Maybe we want to max out that inverter capacity. That's just crazy. Like I just can't. Maybe it's art. Maybe it's someone wants to make an artistic expression. Like maybe it's not plugged in at all. Like Jack said, it's there for shade.
You can only assume it's functional.
You'd like to think so.
It looks like you could detach it and then just use it like a hang glider, just dive off the roof.
It reminds me of one of those old school planes. Like massive double wings.
Or like Evel Knievel or someone on the motorbike just flying over it.
But how would they even get it up, install it? Would it just be... I don't know. But I guess the sales rep said it would fit. I guess so. They had to get the job.
You think there was a side inspection to that sale or over the phone?
Yeah, well, Sean, that's the question. Compared to the Clenergy engineering certificates, if this came across your desk or Ivan's or one of the minds you've got working down there, would you get this signed off, or would there be something else to it? Or
I have to confess, I actually showed this to Stella, who's our head structural engineer, prior to this episode, and I got her to run down, and yeah, she said, "There's no way." I mean, in Australia, definitely not. Under the guidelines and standards in Vietnam, and considering if it's in a very low wind area, maybe. I don't know. We'd have to. This is one that we should follow up and really.
It's giving a lot of credit there. Like, yeah.
What I really like is just drawing a comparison is in the second photo, when you've got that little brick sign, and you've got that signage there, like it's like a bridge, whatever it is, and you got like, look at the detail and the work that's gone into that little mock tile roof below it, with the overhanging across the road. You've got little tile like awnings almost in the bands and the tile, and you got the sign. Then look up at the roof. Look at the comparison of the detail of how much work went into that little bridge overhang thing. The brickwork compared to what's on the roof. I really like.
It'd be great to understand their logic, I guess, and their understanding.
Well, it kind of matches, it matches like the pagoda style, really.
Imagine rocking up and you're staying in like an Airbnb, and you're staying in there. And you walk out and you look up, you're like, what is this? Imagine the rattling if it was a high wind there.
Just look at the size of those poles. I mean, that they've used, that are coming out in that second photo, or in both photos, really. That's like 4 or 5 meters out, I would say, based on those panels.
They had to get 6.6 kilowatts to maximize the STCs. They had to get it on there. Yeah,
it's ridiculous. Yeah,
I want to see more like this. I mean, I don't, but it's like one of those things you just can't look away. You know what I mean? I really want to see more of Crap Solar Asia if we can.
That's a shout out. We've got there's thousands of.
There's a Crap Solar UK page, but that's
not Asia, Jack.
It's not very. Yeah, no, sorry.
We don't talk about them though. Just
they don't have any sun. They're like 1 sun hour a day, don't they?
Mm.
So moving on with that, since Sean brought up the lovely Stella from Clenergy, head structural engineer, you said that was the title.
mm-hmm.
You guys would have seen, or you girls would have seen last week, we had that basketball ring installed at Pat's house with his son having those shots in the basketball ring with Clenergy. We've actually got Stella to burn the midnight oil and give us a engineering certificate from Clenergy. So we'll put that out obviously across the video. We'll share it across the social media, but it's pretty cool to sort of see the official paperwork coming through. And I guess the next step is I spoke to the client or Pat before this and sort of was saying, well, he suggested we should get an Australian basketball or someone local to come down and slam dunk that ring. And we know structurally it's going to be okay. So that might be the next step. Well, yeah.
Did Stella go into that much detail? Did she say that what load it could withstand as far as the dunking, like the dunking of the ball? That's the important part, right?
The writing's a little bit small and I haven't got my eyesight.
Can you put a chain net on it, or like a net made from like earthing cable and earth lugs? Or
how good does it sound on a chain net when the ball goes swish? It's beautiful.
Or when you airball beneath the ring and it goes the net.
A bunch of cable clips.
No, cable clips. Like ones that don't. I'll stop there.
Moving
Next
on.
Time on Cutter Files.
We've got another unusual use of Clenergy in the marketplace. As you can sort of see now, we've got over our videos. I have, with the help of a CCTV video camera expert, used the Hollywood brackets to enclose the camera outside the office here we've got at Solar Cutters HQ. He's the installer, or the electrician who was the video camera dude, was surprised we had that sort of equipment, but was pretty impressed with how it sort of fitted the application. What do you reckon of that, Sean? Like, is it something we could branch out into security systems?
Are you being serious now? Like, can you run me through what happens on the day when this guy came to install your camera and you walked out?
Okay, so the camera was positioned on the side of the building. It got vandalized and smashed, and we had to get it moved. So we moved it underneath a different position in front of the garage door. And obviously it was exposed so people can see it. And the risk again is someone hitting it. So I suggested, well, sitting in my laundry / storage cabinet here at Solar Cutters HQ, we've got some Hollywood brackets here we can sort of use to enclose the camera. So that'll protect
a real meeting of the minds is unfolding here.
Well, this is where it all started. Clenergy security, you know.
That's the thing. Well, just after those inverters, but I said, like, why not? Like, it'll suit the application. It'll enclose the camera. It'll protect it from vandalism. Why not? And the guy agreed. I think reluctantly in the end. And
hold on. So you went to the cupboard. You pulled these things out. You looked at it and you thought, "Aha!" You called the security guy.
Yep. Said, "Yeah, this is what we're doing."
You said, "You need to come back out here. I've come up with an idea."
Because we had to move it, so the camera was off. So the camera was like dangling off. So he had to come in. He had to come in. It happened like a week later. He had to reinstall it. But I said, so when he came to scope it out and do the site inspection, I said, "Look what I've got here. You reckon you can make these sort of work?" And he did. And
so has it been smashed or tried to be vandalized?
No. And because it's the position of the camera and the brackets sort of are really sort of tight on top of it, the only way someone can damage it is coming head on. So they'll show up on the video camera footage. So good luck anyone trying to vandalize it, because I'll hunt you down like the dog you are, and I'll deal with you. We've got protection now, so I'm
pretty sure we've got about 500,000 of those old, non-compliant.
Those are the free samples you gave me.
Are the Hollywood ones as well?
Yeah, probably.
But that's the thing. Like, it was a great idea. Like me, the technical giant that I am.
Expert.
Sort of, it was a meeting of the minds with me and the camera guy, and he thought, like, let's give it a go, and you might want to use that now for future projects. So I think I've opened him up as well to Clenergy.
I can imagine the water cooler banter following this, with the camera guy back at the office by the water cooler with his colleagues.
I'm not sure what the residents in the building sort of think, but no one sort of complained about it or comment on it yet. But it's ultimately it's for their safety. So I think it was pretty.
It's innovative.
It's innovative, and that's what we're all about: innovation. And it was free because we obviously had it given to us, so I don't have to pay for extra hardware, which he was going to charge me for anyway.
Plus margin.
Yeah. Did he ask for some samples to take away, or did
he took them away with him? I gave him like the box of all the stuff, not just the
straight into landfill.
Well, I didn't see the rest of the box back, but I got the brackets came back when he installed it. But yeah, like it was a good idea, and maybe we can we can engrave a Cutters logo or a Clenergy logo on them, and then we can branch into security systems.
Sweet.
I'm all in. You've got me, Costa. Just make the call. All right.
Moving on from that is probably a good segue. We've released some co-branded promotional material and merchandise since, I guess, celebration of Clenergy's support of the initial running of the Cutter Files. So in celebration of that, as I was sort of saying, we want to give the chance for all the viewers to receive a promotional pack free of charge. All you have to do simply is either subscribe to the page on YouTube, and if you've subscribed already, you're already in the running, or B, share the post across social media, whether that's on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, wherever we're posting our content. If you reshare that on your own platform, you'll also go in the running. So this filming or this recording of episode 2 will be released within a week or so, hopefully, but the competition will run until the end of October. So again, anyone who subscribes to the YouTube channel or has subscribed, or anyone that reshares the post across any of the social media will receive, now, something I prepared earlier.
A security camera.
A Clenergy Solar Cutters notebook, item 1. They'll also receive a Clenergy and Solar Cutters face mask.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. There we go. Yeah, I can't put it on with the headphones. Very pertinent, especially in Victoria and Melbourne. So we're needing those every time we leave the house. We've also got some Clenergy and solar cutters bags.
Ooh.
Where all the goodies will be put into, and you can take, put whatever, your snacks and swimmers and beach equipment and whatever you'd like in there.
End clamps.
End clamps. But the piece de resistance is the grey t-shirts that are co-branded Clenergy and solar cutters. So as we can see here, we've got the co-branding there on the front with the staple tee from an AS Colour tee. As Jack and Sean, you guys can attest to the high quality of material. And on the back, so we've gone for the printing rather than I guess sticking the logos on like the other solar cutters t-shirts we've done. But yeah, we've got a lot of these available on the shelf. We're not sure yet whether they'll be available for sale, but we're going to send, give the chance for 10 different individuals to win these individual gift packs. So all you got to do is subscribe or reshare the post, and you'll go in the running, and you'll get a free promotional gift pack to receive by early November or so. So pretty simple, and you can get some hand on some great gear now coming into summer.
It's a pretty good deal. Awesome. They've got to pay for postage though, right?
No. Well, I'll pay for the postage. Happy to do that.
Not express.
Standard.
Standard.
No tracking, but yeah.
Which will take 4 weeks of those posts to go to the next suburb, so that's good.
Well, if
it is good quality gear. Those t-shirts are really good. I've been sleeping.
The AS colour is great.
Yeah.
It doesn't disintegrate in the wash.
And it's because it's printed. You don't, when obviously you sweat and it gets warm, it doesn't stick. It's not sticking to your body as much like the solar cutters t-shirts were, like with the printing as opposed to the sticker. Much more comfortable and usable. And the grey works. Like the grey staple tee is, James Taylor was telling me a couple of days ago, which is the go-to tee. So I think it's something different, something cool, and showing our collaboration together and appreciation again of Clenergy helping us launch the Cutter Files video series. And Sean won't be around forever on these episodes, but it's great that we've got him for the medium term at least, or the indefinite future to help us.
This is news to me. Am I being cut from the script? I'm finding out now, last minute.
My emails haven't been working, so no, you'll be around for a little while. But like, yeah, all honesty,
you'll be around for a little while until we find someone better.
Once we start making it global, like we'll have to upgrade.
We'll get some heavy hitters on.
Yeah, some big heavy hitters in the industry.
It's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
But other than that, like that's probably all the content really we wanted to cover. So that's pretty much episode 2. As per last week and as to enter the competition, we'd want everyone, as many of you as possible, to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. If you're watching this till the end, you'll obviously watch the full episode. There is individual cutout clips of each of the posts as well, so you can focus on them in more detail. We'll be doing this again in another month's time, pending Sean's availability and willingness to hop on the Zoom call again. But no, it's been great fun as always, highlighting a lot of these posts and issues that we've seen across solar social media. Hopefully, everyone out there got a bit out of the content, had a bit of fun along the way. Make sure you're subscribing and resharing the content. You'll be in the running to win the gift packs. So we look forward to episode 3. And as always, if there's any feedback or suggestions, please email marketing@solarcutters.com. And we look forward to bringing you more content going forward. So Sean and Jack, anything final words to say?
No, I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank you guys, you boys, for your support. And we're always happy to support the cutters in any way we can. Thanks to all the installers out there and the customers and the guys that keep providing all the good feedback on the Solar Cutters Facebook page. It is literally gold for us, so please keep doing it. The more criticisms, the better. We're big boys, we can take it. And yeah, thanks again.
And a shout out again to our little man Ivan for
Shout out
assisting.
to Ivan
Yeah.
for always assisting on the, he does all the work in the background. He just feeds me the info and I just come in and it looks like I've got all the answers when really it's just Ivan Ross Gomez. So,
And he puts up with my relentless WhatsApp messages.
yeah, I do too, though. So, and thank you to Stella Mendonca. from,
Stella, yep.
head of structural engineering.
We'll get that engineering certificate out there, and we'll see what the next step is for that too. And I've let Ivan know already. Get Stella on that CCTV, my CCTV camera, and maybe we've got something else to sign off to for next time.
Awesome.
Why not using Clenergy's resources?
Yeah, it's not like she got anything else to do. I mean,
no, I think it's
And,
pretty high priority.
Buy cutter rail, please.
Nice little subtle into it. But yeah, Australia made cutter rail and a 4.4 and a 4.2 available at all good Clenergy distributors.
Can't you
Isn't
just
that
do
right,
one of
Sean?
those things like when Coca-Cola used to just flash up like a quick image during the video, like a really quick one, just like a subliminal one? I don't know if YouTube picks that up yet.
Like that Simpsons episode where they wanted to join the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? I don't know. I haven't seen that one, but yeah, exactly like that. Yeah.
Exactly like that. Well, we'll end it on that and buy the cutter rail, and we'll look forward to bringing you all again some more content next month for another episode. But until then, it's goodbye.
Yeah.